Yo, what's up, TMOT? I wanted to respond to your video on the deterioration of the black community. I feel like this generation of black men and women haven't understood that there are two types of struggle. There are struggles that are imposed on you, and there are struggles that are man-made. Now, anytime you overcome a struggle, right, it shows that you're a strong person, right? It shows that you have some sort of fortitude and, some sort of a quality, okay? Because you overcame a problem, right? You got to give yourself a pat on the back, excuse me. But when we look at the whole idea of blacks overcoming slavery, the whole idea of dealing with Reconstruction and dealing with the Civil Rights Movement, we didn't understand, or we don't understand, that those struggles were imposed struggles. Those struggles were placed upon us. We overcame it, therefore showing our strength. But in an ideal world, we would never put ourselves in that situation to begin with. Right? I'm sure if you talk to somebody who was around during the whole Civil Rights Movement, Reconstruction, and slavery, they would more than likely tell you that they would never wish these conditions upon anybody. We will overcome these situations, but I would never wish that upon anyone. Okay? But we live in a world now where we feel like we have to have some sort of struggle to show how strong we are. Okay, we have to go through some obstacle. It's not about how much I can build. It's not about, me taking what my parents have given me and making it bigger. It's about me going through some struggle. And because of that, we have created a whole bunch of man-made struggles, okay, that we want to overcome, and therefore show ourselves in the world that we are strong people. But oftentimes, you never break even, okay? And if you're not even at zero, you can't even operate in the green. An example, there are men who enter into gang life and criminal activity because they feel like that's what they have to do. That's their struggle. I have to struggle to survive, okay? So oftentimes, they go to jail. Hopefully they don't get killed, okay? They go to jail, serve their time, come out. And a lot of these men, to their credit, have seen the error of their ways, okay? And they've overcame the obstacle of gang and, criminal violence. But, as you know, you have a record. So you never broke even. So you're still in the red. Alright, maybe before you were negative 100, now you're negative 10, but you're still in the red. You haven't broke even. And if you're not even at zero, how can you operate in the green, or how can you operate in the black? How can you gain and achieve? Okay, when you've never fully recovered from your own self-imposed setback. Same thing with a lot of women who choose to have planned pregnancies, right? Whether we like it or not, there's a lot of younger women who are actually planning on becoming single parents and actually become single parents because they feel like that's their struggle. Now, what happens? It's extremely hard. Oftentimes, people don't talk about it, but a lot of single women, single mothers, have their parents, their aunts, and their grandmothers who do a lot in terms of raising that child, to the point where those women are often discredited. And it's really unfortunate, but those women are there to help, okay? But even if a woman does bounce back and she gets on her feet, is she ever going to be at the point, okay, where she was before she got pregnant? Probably not, right? Her life is going to be set. So there are things that she can't do to help herself out in terms of building and becoming better. Her whole struggle is just to break even, right? I'm just trying to get by month to month. It's never about her building anything big. It's never about her actually saving up something. It's about her just getting enough to get by. Okay? All because she felt like she had to create some sort of struggle to show that she's a strong person. So for me, when I look at the whole deterioration, I'm looking at a lot of people who are putting themselves in man-made struggles but never fully recovering. So, a lot of people are at -2, -3. They're close to 0, but they never bounce back. And when you start to add that up, right, because, your community is nothing more than the individuals that make it up. So when you start to add up all the different people who never really made it back to 0, you're still going to slowly fall, because no one's building anything. No one is building something that they can pass on. Okay, if everybody's barely trying to break 0, what does that mean? You're still in debt. So what we're doing is we're passing on social debt, so to speak. Okay, if I'm in the negative, what's going to happen? My children are probably going to end up in the negative as well. I'm going to be born in the negative. Okay, and all of a sudden, even my child is not going to have their own imposed struggle because I imposed them on my own child. And just imagine them also feeling like, yo, I have to, have my own man-made struggle. So my father was a gangbanger, so I'm already born in the negative, and now I decide to be a gangbanger, so now I'm even super in the red, right? So I'm nowhere even near bouncing back to 0, and that cycle is just going to continue. So hopefully you're able to catch where I'm coming from. We have to understand that your strength as a person doesn't always mean that you have to go through a struggle. Okay? Just because you may be born in a situation where you don't have any overt superimposed struggle doesn't mean you're a weaker person. Just because you were born in a situation that wasn't that bad doesn't mean that you can't take that and grow. I was around growing up a lot of young black men and women who had parents who were in the green, so to speak, and they started their lives, my friends, with no real superimposed struggle. But a lot of the times they felt weak, they felt inferior, they felt like they weren't good enough because they were born into money, and they felt like the only way they can show that they are strong people is if they did what? Make some man-made struggle. But they didn't understand that, you can take where you were born, okay, and make it bigger, grow it. That is also a sign of strength. To me, it doesn't matter if you were born to a certain level, okay, and you do nothing to increase it or make it larger. So, if you were born with $100 in your pocket, what did you do to make it $400? Right? To me, you're a weak person if you were born with $100 and you die with $100 because you should have increased it. So we don't understand that, we can show our strength as people, right, without having to use the whole idea of man-made struggles. So pretty much that's how I feel. And I want to close with this. Oftentimes, a lot of young black men and women don't understand that life is going to give you its fair share of struggles, whether we're dealing with health, the economy, and whatever you want to call it. Life by itself is going to throw you some issues that you have to deal with. And oftentimes people get caught up and people fail, right? People just end up down and out because they thought they had to create their own man-made struggles, and life came through and gave them their fair share, and it's too much to handle. So you just see people down and out. Right, people think that, being homeless is something that's extremely hard. Talk to somebody who's homeless and they have stories to tell you. And they always tell you, stay in school, do what you have to do. Okay, don't deal with the BS because life is going to give you a hand that you don't like. but you still better know how to deal it. You still better know how to play it, because that's just what life is. So anyways, hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. Take it easy. God bless.